Yes.
Okay.
It is working. Hooray!
What does it say on there?
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how to use technology. Technologically illiterate. Welcome to the Required Taste Podcast. We are back. It's your boy Tech Daddy. And
I have survived my stinging.
was that the last episode we came out with?
Yes.
Was you being stung?
This is the last episode I was on.
That's fantastic. Well, you've been on a lot of episodes recently, so, you know, you've been on the last, what, 3?
Well, yeah, I was gone for like 6 months, you know, doing my own pilgrimage to who knows where.
A wasp nest.
Obviously,
I was
to
making
bring
friends.
back. To subsequently bring back. Dude, wasps don't have friends.
They have me.
Oh. Yeah, we know that wasps do not have friends. Wasps are enemies to everyone. But anyways, welcome to Required Taste Podcast. We are a history-based podcast. We do some history, some mystery, music here and there. Today, I think, is more history and mystery, kind of a blend.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I'll go with that. So yeah, thank you for joining us. If you are a new listener, we do a little bit of banter at the beginning of the episodes, about 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes of banter. Then we get into the actual topics. So stick around. We will get there. We promise. If you're a returning listener, we appreciate you sticking with us all these years. We appreciate the support. Thank you for always following us and sticking with us throughout these years and you know, all the good stuff. We appreciate it. They're Brandy and DJ are not here, so you don't get forehead kisses. But just know, mentally, they're yours. Anywho, so yeah, today again we have a little bit of mystery, but to start us off with today, I believe you wanted to bring up something, Ben. I don't know how I feel about it, man.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how to feel about this.
So, John has proceeded to fuck me
There it is.
again and again this month. I
I'm
must
a
look
gift
easy.
to most people's lives, just not yours.
I believe it was said in the last episode, John, you are the worst.
So, the disclaimer is that there is nothing funny about ending your own life. Nothing. Unless you're a subject on the pod or of the podcast.
Well, that's just history right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
you know.
found some funny ones then. But right now, you listening, there's nothing funny about it. However, John,
So, everybody involved learned something.
John didn't know how to search a Facebook profile for specific words, like, you know, something Ben posted.
Okay.
So
You're the youngest of all of us.
They used to have the little search option at the top of the profile.
It has been those little 3 dots the whole time, but continue being wrong.
Very wrong. Now they are held up in the. You gotta click on the little 3 dots, and then you can search in somebody's profile. And while we were discovering this,
John found a way to help Ben.
there is an option that says "Help Ben," and I know Ben needs all the help he can get, and so I'm like, I want to help Ben, and so I click on it, and it gives you 3 options to report.
None of the money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure money could help us all.
One was like for bullying.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was bullying or being bullied, but yes.
Yes.
Okay, probably being bullied if I had to guess.
I'm unsure which way
One
that was.
was someone has hacked this profile or made a fake profile or whatever.
Sure.
And the third option was you are in fear of that person committing suicide or doing self-harm.
Okay.
Which one did you click, John?
So I was like, these are like, I didn't know this had this. I'm like, I wonder what questions, like what's beyond that option? And so I clicked on it. That was it. It reported.
And I'm suicidal on Facebook now.
Okay. I mean, you were always on a watch list. Now we know you're on a new
I'm
one.
adding them.
You're now on a new watch list.
Fucking Infinity Stones over here.
So, yeah, no, it very much was just like, nope, reported. Thank you. We'll reach out to you. So, I have concerns now.
So we can turn this into a PSA very easily with what you're about to say, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I never knew that was an option, honestly. So
Well,
that's cool.
We all learned something. Also, we were like, well, shit, what's it going to do to Ben? So we started doing the Google.
We should worry what Ben's going to do to Facebook, but continue.
We were more trying to see what situation Ben was going to fall in, if it's going to be a Ruby Ridge type deal or a Waco type deal. Like what episode are we going to have in the future about Ben?
Okay.
What is my graphic going to be on somebody's T-shirt?
Well, we already have a graphic it's right there. Like,
It's going to say Waco.
if you guys want us to make a T-shirt graphic for just Ben on a T-shirt, let us know. I will fab it up. We'll put it on Etsy. You can purchase it immediately after you tell us. Reach out to us at Required Taste.
I'd be interested to see the choices.
Yeah, we have an email. We also have a website now, requiredtastepodcast.com. So yeah, if you want to go there, leave us some feedback. Perfect. If you want to see a shirt with Ben's face on it, I will make that happen for you.
I feel like, you ever see those like Viking hats where it's just like a ball cap and then there's like a little beard that like loops around? I feel like we can do that with Ben and it's just going.
I feel like the idea was already copyrighted, but we'll see what we can do.
We'll see.
Sue Aaron.
The continue.
Dude, I'm about to lose my job in a week, man. I don't have any fucking money.
I can get you a job with the Wasps.
Continuing with the PSA though, because nobody has contacted you.
No,
and nobody has contacted me.
What the hell?
What we searched is that they were going to.
I found a hotline number.
They said they would go and review.
Mm-hmm.
So one, it said they would review the comments and questions. I didn't click on any comment. I just went to his profile and reported suicidal. And so we did the Google searching.
Maybe we got a new listener when they started scrolling my profile. It's Wash! They're back!
Again.
So John hasn't been contacted, and I haven't been contacted.
Sure.
By anybody regarding this.
You guys aren't allowed to see outside.
And
Yeah, it's a bright sunny day out.
yeah. And so I guess while it's hilarious that John continues to upset my life this month, and everything, that's where the hilarity stops. But I guess if you're on Facebook and you're trying to report a friend for serious reasons,
Don't rely on Facebook.
don't rely on that.
Yeah, I never knew
At
that
least
was
so far.
I never knew that was an option. I mean, that's cool that Facebook is doing something to help suicide awareness, because obviously it is a big deal. But apparently they're not doing it fast enough. So
No.
I thought about the option of like I've been involved in like suicide intervention and care programs for people who are considering, and like normally there's a group tied to that, and that's kind of like their sole job. So I imagine some guy at Facebook who has never had a workflow item come to him. He wakes up Thursday morning and he's got an email notification and he goes, "It's happening!" and like just panics and like goes through all the wheels. No, that motherfucker didn't do shit.
okay.
Ben didn't get contacted. I didn't get contacted. Nobody got contacted. Don't rely on Facebook to save your friends.
Yeah. So in all seriousness about the suicide thing, the is 988.
Yes.
Is the number. So yeah, if you obviously we're joking about
Well, we're joking
John.
about what John did.
what John did,
Yeah.
but yeah, in all seriousness,
And accidentally.
Yes. So yeah, you can call or text to 988.
That's
so
what I'm thinking. So
there's
as a group, we all talked. We learned that Facebook has an option. We learned it is not a reliable option.
not a reliable one.
And then we talked about the suicide helpline.
Yeah. So okay, I guess it did come around to a good thing.
It's a positive,
Okay.
just like the wasp sting.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what the irony of all that though is, I think like the week after that happened to you, I was outside. I was just reading a book because I prefer to read outside if I can. And in the umbrella that's sitting on my patio furniture, I don't put the umbrella up because just the time of day. I'm never out there that time of day.
Sure.
And I'm thinking to myself like, man, I feel like there's like probably like a wasp or hornet nest inside of this thing. Let me check. So I walk outside. I leave the back door open for a swift escape for obvious reasons, in case I'm right. So I give it a little shake. I was right. So, yeah, I used an entire can of wasp spray. It did the job. It did the job. Just seeing them fall out of the umbrella was hilarious.
It is satisfying to watch those people put like the solution.
Oh yeah, it's like gasoline and something else.
It can be a number of things, I believe, but they always put them in the clear containers. You just watch them drop. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's satisfying.
It is satisfying.
Yeah,
it's like that, and like the lawnmower videos, like when you watch somebody like clean up a messy yard.
Have you guys ever watched? And Pete is gonna hate this. The guys that have poured molten aluminum down an
anthill,
an ant colony.
Yeah,
that is cool. When they dig it up and everything and seeing how complex it is.
Yeah, dude, ants are wild.
That is so. I get Resident Evil vibes every time I see it because it makes me think of the hive, under the mansion.
So
and everything.
Thanks for that memory.
Yeah,
there was a time I was in Washington, the state, and I was going out into the wilderness, and the one thing that people warned me about was don't fuck with the anthills. And in my head, I'm like, there's a story. Someone
are they red ants or
no? Just that was the only info provided. Don't fuck with the ants. And I'm like, someone tried to get intimate with ants or something. Like, there's some weird shit that happened.
It's the freaking West Coast. A lot of weird shit's happening.
That is true.
Exactly.
Those are Bigfoot's ants. Don't you touch Bigfoot's ants?
Oh, once you get out there, these anthills are 6 to 7 feet tall.
Oh, that's impressive.
From the ground.
Wow.
And they are probably
a
decent size wide.
I mean, people forget that's a rainforest. So, I mean, a whole lot of stuff changes.
And so these ants would have these just massive anthills. And what was cool is they had basically little highways that they had built to the other anthills because they would take the same path.
They have trade?
Yes.
They established trade?
I don't like this.
No.
These were super cities of ants. And so they would walk the same path going to the other anthill. And because they took the same path, and there's fucking millions of them, it would make trails and carve into the ground these little highways of ants. Also, side note, if you happen to jump on the ground, if you're doing training or something like that, and lay on one of these highways, they get pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in traffic.
They bite the shit out of you.
I would bite somebody in traffic, yes.
Honestly, given the chance, I probably would too.
So
I'm so glad I worked from home for so long because going back to Chicago every day, I probably would have murdered somebody by now.
So, evolutionarily speaking, I forget the terminology when because it's way out of my lane, but I think ants are about that far away from being the dominant species on the planet.
I know they had the largest biomass.
Maybe that's it, but I mean, if they ever gain sentience, essentially,
they're
start having an issue.
There are trillions of them.
So, did you have to ever play the game Earth Defense Force?
Can't say
I know what you're talking about.
There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of them, but in the game you're playing as just a foot soldier, or whatever. You get mechs and helicopters and tanks eventually, but in the game there's the aliens invade, but the aliens are just giant bugs. Oh. And so you're just shooting giant ants. It's a really fun game. It's 4 players. It's a good time. Yeah, have some beers with your buddy or monsters and sit back and let loose. It's a pretty good time. It just reminded me of that. So just thinking about this makes me want to play that game. I'm like, you know what? I need to remember the dominance.
Kind of makes me want to watch Starship Troopers to become a citizen.
Dude, that and Helldivers, man.
Helldivers. Oh, have you played recently?
I have not played, but I've heard tell.
They're on Super Earth.
I've heard Super Earth is in peril.
Super Earth.
Which is interesting because I heard a theory that that Super Earth is going to fall and that they're going to shut down the servers. Super Earth is going to fall and they're going to shut the game down.
I was joking with that on the people. I'm like, what if the producers are just done making new shit and they're tired of it? But it becomes so popular and they're like, no, you're going to lose. Yep. We're killing the game.
Yeah, I haven't played in a while. Do you still play it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to link up on that one day. I'm gonna have after next week. I'm gonna have a lot of free time.
I guess I'll have to too because I haven't played it.
Oh, it's so much fun, dude. It's so much fun with friends. You two are gonna be an issue though.
Why?
Because friendly fire is always on.
Oh, I'll kill John
It's
immediately.
It's
Hence why I said it's going to be an issue.
it's always on, and like
It's so hilarious.
you know how like the GTA developers, like there's hidden code, so like the cars become a problem. Like you could be going 100 miles an hour down an open lane road, and a car is like way the fuck over here. It's going to pull into your path to cause accidents. They basically did that with the friendly fire.
It's going to happen.
It is frowned upon. It is strongly encouraged.
It is going to happen. Like, there's
I
no
don't feel
way.
that's the definition of frown.
And also, like, the ragdoll physics make it even funnier.
Oh, that's great.
And all the airstrikes make it even funnier. Like, all the accidental, like, you're throwing, like, a beacon, like, for, like, you know, the 500 kiloton bomb or something, and, like, you get shot in your arm, like, oh, it dropped it, like, oh.
Yeah, like so
Oh, no.
the airstrikes they have.
We're all on PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But we're all on PlayStation anyway.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, it's not on Xbox. That's right.
Yeah, but we all have PlayStation, though,
Yeah.
don't we?
So we're good.
I'm still used to it
I understand.
mattering, you know.
It's only on PC and PlayStation.
Two?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a Helldivers one a long
Yeah, it was on
time
PC,
ago.
I think.
It's 20% off.
Hell yeah.
The game. I think.
Fuck.
I think when the game came out, it was only like $40.
I think that's right. Because when I
It's-
bought it, I think I bought the collector's edition of it. 'Cause
It's
it was
still
like $60.
It's still $40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's discounted right now.
Yeah, I mean, they probably has like a bunch of stuff with it too, like DLCs and stuff.
Got a Super Citizen edition.
That's
for
the one I bought.
$47.99.
That's the edition I have.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you get?
So
Oh, you just get like some in-game stuff.
oh, okay.
I mean, it is $7 worth, I would say. But
they have a bunch of DLCs that they release every once in a while. The nice thing though is it is possible to get the DLCs without paying anything, and it's not like you need to grind to get these. Like most of the time, like half the DLCs I haven't paid for.
they made the creators of Helldivers 2 made a game that was gamer friendly.
Yeah.
Like they did the thing that most greedy companies don't do. So like they made
they
a
went
game
to
that
war
you could
with-
actually earn. Like you play the game, you earn stuff. Cool.
That's how I felt about the RoboCop game, and then
Yeah.
and then Terminator.
Like they made a game for
Resistance.
gamers.
Well, and also for Terminator fans and RoboCop fans.
Well,
like,
So there was a moment they went to war with PlayStation.
I remember that because PlayStation wanted to add their sign on to it, and they were like, "No."
Yeah, so the PC players were going to have to make PlayStation accounts in order to play.
yeah.
And Helldivers was like, nope, we're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not
and then
doing that.
They intentionally, like, they were provoking PlayStation, like, in-game.
Aaron just popped up on my LinkedIn
Hello,
randomly.
ready for work. I'm open to work. What's that?
Do you need an IT specialist?
Tech Daddy, unemployed.
Do an OnlyFans page called Tech Daddy, but it's not like porn. It's just you help people with their tech problems.
I actually thought about something similar to that, like doing like my own
you
tech
have,
channel.
And then you have like a good voice, and so you can like,
Bless you.
talk about
Thank you.
sensual details.
I could do that, and actually, I would make more money on Pornhub that way. So there's that.
I'll subscribe.
Anyways, I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. Yeah, it's
I
fine.
took care of it.
Too late. It's too late now,
You can
anyways.
say Pornhub on YouTube?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe I can. I don't know. Too late.
I feel like you can.
Well, I can say it as long as I'm not showing it, I guess.
No, I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot.
Guys, I don't have any notes. I just watch porn.
But it's funny though because like there are several people like tech people that have made a shit ton of money with their instructional videos on Pornhub. Like that's not a joke.
I know there are people who, like, their streaming platform is Pornhub. And what's great is when you come across those videos, like, the comment sections are, like, really nice and friendly. Like, it's an actual community.
good stuff.
And it's fantastic.
It's, you know, it gives me faith in humanity just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Porn community, tying everybody together.
Oh, that's a hand I don't want to
Phrasing.
shake.
Tying
Phrasing, man.
everyone.
Oh, bother. Anywho, let's get into this topic because I'm starting to get hungry and I want to go downstairs and eat something. Oh, by the way, that means Jess brought your food, by the way, Ben.
Oh, hi. Thanks, Jess.
None of you
Okay.
heard it, but she went on a long and angry rant about that.
A lot of expletives. All right. So,
When in Rome.
We had to mute it.
honestly, yeah, that's about right. All right. So today, Sea Peoples, end of the Bronze Age. So it's kind of like a combination topic because we do have to go over the end and the end of the Bronze Age, the start of what was essentially the Dark Ages for several hundred years. But the people that were blamed for causing it, I guess would be the one way to say it. They were blamed for causing it, but partially a product of it. So we're going to dive into that today.
Yeah.
So just to start off with, what is the Bronze Age? I feel like this is such a big topic, such a broad topic. I'm not going to get into a lot of details of it, of what the Bronze Age was, but just know that bronze was invented essentially. Like, hey, we have these two elements. It was what, copper, tin?
Copper and tin.
Yeah. So I didn't even write that down. Thanks, brain.
It was more Unga Booga. Copper and tin. Unga Booga.
Ooga booga, yeah. So we had essentially the world itself was becoming what we think of as, like, when we think about the classics. So we think about like Old Testament Bible times. When we think about like this great Greek empire, we think about the Spartan Empire. Like,
Is this antiquity or does that come after?
ooh, that's a big question. I don't know the answer to that.
The Iron Age might be antiquity.
You can look.
Maybe.
I'm gonna keep going. You
Oh,
look
yeah,
that
yeah,
up.
yeah. Sorry, it just popped in my head.
Oh yeah, I actually do not know the answer to that. So like, yeah, like if you think movie 300, the Spartans, all their armor, their weapons, that was all bronze. This is the era of when you think about like ancient Egypt at their power.
I
Okay,
was way off.
Okay.
Antiquity is
what, 18? No, 16.
approximately. Oh well, no. Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Period of history from approximately 8th century BC to 5th or 6th century AD. So yes,
this predates it. Then.
it's just wider.
Yeah.
than I thought.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait-
because this is before that.
Yeah.
Then, so yeah, that's interesting. Well, we learned that this happened right before antiquity. Then,
Well, this should be. Well, the collapse is 1200.
right?
So, yeah. Okay, I see where you're going.
Backwards.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so again, we're thinking like the height of the Egyptian power, the height of Greek power. Well, they weren't even the Greeks yet. They were the Mycenaeans.
I cannot pronounce the name to save my life, but yes,
Mycenaeans. So we're gonna go with that. So yeah, that was
Aegean and Mycenaean.
yeah. So that was
Yes.
pretty much like I think Homer's classics were about this era, if my memory serves. Like like the Iliad, the Odyssey.
So yeah, because one of the starts with a D. I forget what it was, but they believe that there's a direct tie to the Iliad.
Denian.
Yes.
oh, okay.
Yes.
One of the names of the people, right? I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, deny, and I don't know, something like that.
We're going to butcher a lot of names. They're probably going to summon a new demon in my house, so that's going to be fun.
It's spelled Denian, but then
I'm sorry. The Denoy was from the Iliad.
Yes.
You're saying the real people.
Yep.
Oh, I see. what
Yeah,
you mean.
I'm sorry. I got a little flip
I
there.
see what happened there. So the Bronze Age itself took place between 3300 and 1200 BC. I guess I could say BCE, but I just hate saying the E part because it's like you guys just added shit and it just drives me nuts.
I don't believe in it. It's BC and AD.
Right, stop changing shit.
I get what you're going for, but just shut up. It's just BC or AD. Common era. What the fuck is that? I don't have anything in common with somebody from 1 AD all the way up to, I don't know, fucking the 1400s.
We don't even speak the same language. We just had an episode about that.
I'm sorry. A pope made it. He gets to name it. They made it accurate. Get fucking over it. Literally, well, actually, figuratively, get off the cross. We need the wood. It's BC AD.
Wasn't there also
Feel better now?
Isn't there also like a conspiracy theory that like the church skipped like a couple?
Yeah, we did that episode.
Yeah, we did an
Yeah.
episode about it.
The
Okay.
Phantom Time episode. Oh,
Yeah.
you weren't. That was just the three of us. You weren't on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, if you guys are curious
Yeah.
what the hell we're talking about,
The Gregorian calendar.
what would we call that episode? What's
The
thing?
Phantom Time, or I'm sorry, the Phantom Time hypothesis, not paradox.
There we go.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. So yeah, if you guys want to check that episode out, it's one of our older ones.
Yeah, 300 missing years.
yes.
Yeah, we did cover that. You were not here, so you are forgiven for not knowing that. It's okay. So anyways, so yeah, that's
If I was on the episode, there's a solid chance I forgot about it. I forgot about episodes that I was on.
dude, we have like over 150 episodes. I get it.
It's always fun.
It's
to go,
amazing.
It's always fun to go back and like listen to myself, and then I'm like having that conversation in my head, and I'm like, I would say this, and then I say it. It's a fun time.
I'm happy you're happy, dude.
It's like agreeing with myself.
Okay. Oh, you mind if I continue?
Such
No.
a puppy.
That was definitely an innercism. So
Don't start down that road. We're gonna be here forever.
true. All right. So yeah, I already told the years. This was like I mentioned before, the Hittites, which were imagine like modern day Middle East area, the Mycenaeans, like we just mentioned before. Imagine where Greece is around the Aegean, that area, and then of course the Egyptian Empire. We all know where that is.
Yeah.
This was pretty much the height of most of their power. A lot of the trade was going through a lot of these major civilizations. Like we mentioned before, the Bronze Age propelled a lot of these empires because of trade, because of the ability that they had to create new objects with bronze. It's like we have like steel now, or iron before that. It just gave the people the ability to create what they could never created before, creating various empires that lasted until, well, we're gonna get to that. So
Created needs that they didn't know that they had.
pretty much, yeah. And create a new era of exploration. They were doing all kinds of stuff. It was great until it wasn't. So, did you have anything you want to add about the Bronze Age, by the way, before I move to the class?
No, I mean you're pretty much in the same notes I am.
I would just add in there like this. We mentioned some of the large players in there. You had Egypt, you had Cyprus, you had the Hittite Empire, or
Hittites.
Hittite, whatever.
The Hittites.
The Hittite. This was
Sounds like a fertility clinic, but continue.
high tit. So during the Bronze Age, a lot of these guys prospered because they were relying on trade. So there was none of these guys were really like at war with each other. They were just prospering on each other. And it was turning these super cities into like just mega complex, mega like civilization infrastructure areas. And really, once we get to the end of this, it's all gone. Like this,
Mostly.
yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah. I mean, the Egyptians kind of survived,
Yeah.
but that's probably about it.
Egypt is the one that fascinates me just because we have Egypt how we think of it and everything in terms of, borders and everything and the shape of Georgia. And really Egypt is just this narrow band.
Yeah, pretty much just follow the Nile.
And then into the Sinai. And that's Egypt.
You follow the moving water.
No, I know. It's funny, to see it on a map.
Get the people a water fountain, Ben.
What else did you have, Aaron, before I hit John?
Fair enough. So I just have to look up something real quick too, because I wanted to just again give more of a context about this time. So Egypt, we think about the pyramids. The pyramids were built during this era. So I just have to make sure I'd look it up to make sure that I was actually correct.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Well, it's some of them, right?
Well, the ones that when you think about Egypt, when you think about Egypt, think about the pyramids in Egypt. You think about the ones I'm referring to.
Okay.
There were ones built before that. There were ones built after that too. The ones before that pretty much all collapsed. Or like the ruins are still there, but the stones look more sandy than stone.
Yeah.
So
It's a little Stonehenge-y.
yeah, little sandy, sandy.
Like so. The age of Cleopatra is still well after this,
Right.
So
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
That's a fun mind fuck.
Yeah.
So and I know I've mentioned it on the show before, but like just that Cleopatra is closer to modern age. Like she is closer to our timeline than she is the creation of some of these pyramids.
Right.
Because by the time she was born, those had already been up for 2,000 or 3,000 years, and she's only.
No, it's wild to think about.
2,500. I can't remember when she was around.
I actually looked that up because I was going to bring that up. Good point. So with Cleopatra, she died in 30 BC.
Yeah, so we're 1,200 years off from her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about complete different timelines. So even to her, the pyramids were old.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Which is wild to even say out loud. But yeah, and actually, I would like to cover her one day, especially about her. Everything with her and the Romans, so that'd be
I'd still smash today.
Okay.
Let me in that sarcophagus.
We don't know where it is.
I'll find it.
They're still working on it. There's actually an Egyptologist that's actually pretty close to finding it, though. I think she's I forgot her name.
We talked about her on the
We did.
Rosetta Stone episode.
Yeah, her story is really interesting, and I hope
Yeah.
she finds it. I think that
Because I didn't know that we didn't know where she was until that episode.
I also didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know enough to be dangerous with Egypt, but it's not something I ever like really sink into.
I probably watch the most documentaries about
Yeah.
Egypt nowadays because I know a lot about everything else. I feel well, not a lot. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm not that smart, but like I just Egypt is one of those things where there's so much to it. I mean, there's what 5,000 plus years.
and that's why it's such a big thing. And like I said in that episode, like you have history and everything else. You don't have a Romology. You don't have a but you have an Egyptology.
Oh yeah,
That's
a study.
that's saying something.
Yeah,
I have watched The Mummy a few times,
I hate
so you
bugs.
can say I'm.
So the collapse of the Bronze Age. The reason why this era is so interesting, or so while we're talking about it, is because there's really no clear time of when it actually collapsed. So, like I mentioned before, like the Bronze Age was an era of expanse, of like I said, like elegance. Like these people had money, lots of it. The biggest thing about that though is they also invented writing. We had several different systems of writing. There was the universal system, which was crap, I forgot to write it down.
Cuneiform?
Cuneiform.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. The cuneiform system of writing, which was pretty much found everywhere, especially along the Mediterranean and the Aegean, and you'll find it all over the place. So this was used a lot of times for trade and communication between various empires. We're going to come back to that. The biggest thing that I also forgot to mention earlier too about the Bronze Age, like you mentioned before, this was the era of mostly peace and a lot of people trading. The problem with that is the peace part, because out of the biggest empires, Egypt was the only one that had a standing army. The rest of them didn't.
Yeah,
That's going to come back later. We're going to come back to that because that's actually going to be a thorn in the side of a lot of people very soon.
That's a damn it.
Yeah, like we need a standing army.
son of a bitch.
Wedding singer. Something that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Indeed. So the Bronze Age collapse, they believe it takes place between 1200 and 1150 BC. There's a bunch of different factors that go into this, so let's just get into them. The Sea Peoples, I know, is the topic of this, but there's a bunch of other things that kind of factor into it. The Sea People were blamed for the collapse in some circles. They're not the only thing that was going on, though. No. And honestly, again, as I mentioned before, I think that they were more of an effect of the collapse, and then they came in and made it worse. So in this time during the Bronze Age collapse, there were rampant earthquakes. There were major earthquakes going on between the year of 1225 and 1175 BC. So
Volcanoes too, I believe.
yeah, there was that too. I was gonna cover that part. I was getting there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say volcanoes. But yeah,
Like activity.
yeah, you just have a bunch of exploding volcanoes and earthquakes. Like you're gonna have a bad time.
And not to paint a picture of like the Mediterranean was covered in earthquakes. Not covered in earthquakes, covered in volcanoes.
It just takes one.
This was a series of volcanoes all over the planet. There was lots of seismic activity, and so you get enough explodey things putting shit up into the air, it starts to get real fucky with the weather.
And speaking of the weather, the other problem that was going on, there was a massive famine and a drought.
And a drought. Actually, a long drought too.
Very.
I don't think I wrote down the years for that. It was a long one though.
It was. So
Damn it.
yeah, there was a massive. You can probably look it up while we're doing this.
That's fair.
There was a massive drought, and I think that actually has something to do with the volcanoes as well, blocking out the messing with the weather. So you have famine, you have earthquakes, you have volcanoes, a lot of things that are just bad. And the biggest problem with that is obviously people need to eat. Even though there was obviously the hierarchy, there were the ultra rich back then too, and the people that did have a lot of power, and those people were pretty much hoarding it. And the people kind of got pissed. So that kind of goes into how I mentioned before that these Sea Peoples were kind of a product of the collapse, because these people were hungry.
It was a 300-year drought period.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years to have a drought. Was it caused by a volcano?
Let's see here. Specific
I think there was speculation that the number of volcanoes going off was fucking with like the world over.
That makes
and
sense.
so it was causing droughts and very random weather.
Well, also if if that coincides with any of the super volcano eruption, thank you. That happened way back when, then I mean that's gonna, there's your smoking gun.
Yeah, very well could be. So, for example, the massive famine and drought actually hit the Hittites. So, as I mentioned before, the Hittite kingdom was where modern day Middle East would be. So, if you can imagine that entire region unable to produce food. And thankfully, again, they weren't at war with anybody. They were trying to reach out to other civilizations to actually get food and resources. They were having their own problems too. So going down, they were starting. I mentioned before, there was a lot of there were the people with a lot of power. There were the really wealthy kings and whatnot. And because of that, the people themselves started getting pissed off. They were starting to see that their kingdoms weren't thriving. They were hungry, which is, I mean, if you know anything about people when it comes to hunger, they'll start doing some things that they'll do whatever it takes to eat. I mean, hunger takes over your brain at that point. So
Eat the rich.
And they were starting to. So the rebellions happened. So we started having rebellions. They're starting to have various rebellions, all these different civilizations. It started to become an issue with trade as well. So these people that now don't have food in their kingdom also can't get any trade in their kingdom either, because people are starting to rebel, and the sea peoples were a part of that, because again, sea peoples, they were on boats and you can't trade anything without the boats. And it got pretty bad. So the Dark Age, as I mentioned, this does actually last for 300 years as well. So 300 years of drought and 300 years of plunge into absolute darkness of the Dark Ages, where they forgot how to write and nothing was written down at all. So starting off though, like how do pretty much the question is obviously, how do we know about this? Like how do we find out about the famine, the droughts, the sea peoples, all that? 1928, a farmer off the coast of Syria found a tomb in his fields. So he's out there, with a pick, sowing his fields as one does, and he stumbled upon a tomb. At the time, 1928, Syria was actually controlled by France. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So France.
Which year?
28.
Okay, Sykes-Picot. Yep.
Yeah.
That tracks.
So France sent out an archaeologist from the Louvre. His name was Schaefer. He was sent out there to help dig the site, find out whose tomb it was, and blah blah blah. So he got there, and turns out it actually wasn't a tomb for a single person. It was actually a graveyard for a lot of people, a lot of persons. And once finding that out, he was like, well, this is a massive graveyard, this massive burial site. There has to be a city near here, but there wasn't. So obviously he's doing investigation. They started looking around, started digging around, ended up finding a whole city. The city that they found was called Ugarit. I'm going to go with Ugarit.
I think Ugarit.
Yeah, Ugarit it is.
I think.
Again, we're going to mispronounce a lot of stuff.
I'm trying to get back to where I have it written down just so I can see the pronunciation, but I think it's Ugarit.
Sure. All right, we're going to go with Ugarit.
It's starting to not sound like a word.
Yep.
Ugarit.
The more you say it.
Sure. In our phonetics.
And that's exactly how they pronounced it back then.
Obviously. So they found the cemetery. They started looking around for the city. They ended up finding the city, and they started trying to figure out when the cemetery was there. It's like what happened? Like why are all these people here? They found out that it actually the people that were buried there, it happened actually right before the collapse of the Bronze Age. So again, the city that they found, also they noticed that the city itself, they had to find it. So the city itself had been abandoned at one point. They started digging around the city to notice a few things, which they found. For one thing, they found cuneiform tablets. So cool. They found cuneiform tablets, a lot of them, like hundreds of them in this city. And let's go back to France, because the cuneiform that they were using here, they hadn't seen it before. There was something that they've never actually been able to decipher before. what they ended up doing was after they figured it out that the cuneiform was actually was actually alphabetic, they were able to decipher all the tablets, and then here's how we're starting to learn exactly what happened during this time frame. Where was I at here?
You know what I just noticed, and like in the back of my head, I always knew this, but like when you come across like these like ancient cities that are buried or whatever and whatnot, of like whatever dating system they had, like obviously didn't match other dating systems. Like in one time period, they might refer to it as like, oh, this is 400 whatever, and then you can go 100 miles to your right, and they're like, it's 7,657th day, and like. They all have different base start points that are different.
If one at all.
Yeah, if they decided to keep track and thought that was important.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or if they had invented numbers, like, it's a pain in the ass. These people need to like.
I will argue that a bunch of pyramid builders, they would have had numbers.
Yeah, probably.
I'm prepared to go that far. The rest of them, I can't say.
Well, yeah, they got that from the aliens.
Oh, fun. Go.
Like the old joke, white people didn't make it, so it must be aliens. Anywho, so all right,
Who do you
where was
think
that?
made us?
So Ugarit was again the city they discovered. A few things that they noticed about the city that was interesting, though. Obviously, one, it was abandoned. The other thing that they noticed was that they discovered a bunch of caches of buried treasure there. So whoever lived there, the people of this city, they took all their valuables and buried it. So
It would have been weird if it wasn't abandoned, right? Like you unbury a city, fucking people down there. This city was abandoned. Yeah, no shit. It's underground.
Crab people.
Well, the reason why they said it was abandoned, actually, I can dive into that a little bit, was because you think about an earthquake, right? There were earthquakes all the time back then. If an earthquake happens, the city would have been probably repaired, put back together. This city shows it was abandoned because of not only was the city completely destroyed, there was no sign that anybody ever tried to fix it.
That makes sense.
So that's why. So yeah, like I mentioned before, though, there was a layer of burned. They found that the city itself was not only destroyed, it was burned when it was destroyed. So whoever did it not only knocked everything down, they decided to burn it too.
Historically, the first fuck your couch.
Pretty much, yeah. Like if Fuck Yo Couch was a people's, they would have boats. So the other thing they noticed again, like they found a bunch of more tablets. This all shows that the tablets themselves also reference everything that happened before the year 1192. There's nothing after that. So whatever happened to these people happened before that year. No, and nobody went back, essentially. The king also, they found cuneiform tablets with the king from the king to Cyprus. So the correspondence, and which it never made it, obviously, the correspondence from the king of Ugarit was writing the king of Cyprus, begging them to help save his city that was surrounded by ships.
I saw that one. Yeah.
Did you see like the tablet translated of like the Cyprus response?
I did actually.
And he's like, "Don't be a bitch."
Pretty much.
He was like, "Look strong."
I just
And I'm like, okay, that's
like, okay, I guess.
I just like the pre-Christ version of a pager.
Don't be a bitch.
yeah. And like when they sent these tablets, it would take like months for this info to get there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought it was interesting they found
army and everything else that happens once that actually gets there.
And one of the really interesting things too about the city of Ugarit, they actually found another city that was to the south of it. Now again, these are both on the Aegean, so they have access to water. Ugarit actually sat between I forgot was it Euphrates and I should have written that down. I think it's the Euphrates River and the Aegean.
Yeah.
Wait, is the Euphrates in Iraq?
Yeah, I think
I'm right.
Well, I mean, Syria's right next to it. Right?
No. I'm trying to put myself there. I'm just trying to remember.
I don't know. I should have read it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at the.
Wait, you guys prepared for this?
It's been a while since I looked at Middle Eastern river geography.
Yeah, I can't say I've been there. Can't say I know the rivers.
I'm prepared to go on Jeopardy, but
there was a desert with a river and a city.
That narrows it down.
So again, because of that, they had access to again one of the big cities that one of the bigger cities that had a lot of money because of trade. That's why. Yeah. So moving in, they had another city to the south of them called Gibala. I'm gonna go with that. They were destroyed between 1190 and 1194. Essentially the same thing. They found evidence of. They found the evidence of former writing. They found burned. They found a lot of things again right off the water, and then also because they were right next to them, there were communication. There had to be communication between the two cities, so they knew what was coming for them. Ugarit knew they were about to get fucked up by these people from boats on the water, the sea, if you will.
That's what I love about this is like, so. We'll refer to them as the sea people, but that's literally only because that's what the Egyptian called them.
Mm-hmm. They came from the sea.
And
they don't have a word for them.
Yeah,
and like the funny part of that is like you guys are in the Mediterranean. You're all fucking boat people. Like Cyprus is an island. You're boat people.
What do you mean boat people?
Like they call them sea people, but. Like, that was the form of transportation back then. Yeah,
right.
Because it took fucking long to go over land.
But also the idea of a nation is much younger than any of this.
Yeah.
So, you're not getting to, the idea of a nation, not even as we know it, but until, I don't know, 12 or 1400s AD.
Yeah, and...
so...
There was also like,
and that's a guess. That's just a guess. But our idea of a nation's even younger than that.
Yeah, and so there is. They would call them sea peoples because from what they could tell, it was a combination of about 6 to 7 different groups, kind of all compiled in together. And the great thing about this is one, some of these people that they have like wrote down and like identified. We don't know where the fuck they came from.
Some of them know.
There's about half of them. We were like, well, I don't know where that civilization's from. And so they started calling them sea people. The people at the time knew where these guys were from because obviously they were naming them. But to this day, like half the people of the sea peoples were kind of just guessing to the best of our knowledge of where they came from.
Yeah.
And you kind of talked about this earlier to the strong empires in the area, this looks like somebody ransacking cities and pillaging and whatnot. But once you start to dive digger into some of their accounts of like what these people looked like and what they were bringing with them, it wasn't so much as plundering as like it seemed more of like survival of kind of as you talked about like the collapse of some of these different cities of. It's probably where they came from collapsed, and so now they just formed into this big group and started showing up places.
If you're experiencing crop failure, your neighbor is experiencing crop failure, even if you don't know that they exist.
And to like, when I read over some of these stories, like I often wondered. I was like, were these people actually like pillaging and fucking like? Being initially violent, or were they trying to show up and that nation was like, no, get the fuck out of here, we have our own problems, and that's what started the fighting.
So, you think I'm gonna leave? That's cute.
Right.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
Yeah, and I could have, that's definitely a possibility.
Well, like I oftentimes reading through some of this stuff and some of the different videos and the research I found, I was like, I bet these were people just trying to find food and like a place to like merge into, and then that place was already suffering. Was like, get the fuck out. We have our own problems, and then they were like, nah, bitch, give me what you got.
Yeah, never take interpretations too literally, because regardless of the degree behind the statement you're hearing, at a certain point in that sentence, you're reaching the hypothesis part of that statement. And
history is.
Yeah, a number of
it was written by the victors, and
a good portion of it is going to be factual. Don't don't misunderstand. A good portion of it's going to be factual.
So, and actually going with the history being written by the victors, that actually helps me lead into the next part I'm going to talk about, which was actually Egypt. By the way, the city of Ugarit was actually destroyed 10 to 15 years before Egypt was attacked. So if you look at the map where they're at, Egypt's still in the south. They're over here. So the word had to have traveled down down the Aegean. Like, hey, there's these dudes, and they have boats, and they're just fucking up our shit all the way down the coast. They're gonna get there you eventually.
Somebody sitting there going, interesting. What's a boat?
Well, thankfully, the people saying was the Egyptian Empire, and they had an army at least.
I had to go there just, what is boat?
Yeah. Yep. So, like I mentioned earlier, with
other people.
That's fair too.
Yeah, right.
There's others,
right? So, like I mentioned before at the beginning of this episode, like these, a lot of these empires, because as you said, they were all at peace. Well, they didn't have a standing army. Egypt did, and that's why Egypt was the people that's telling most of this damn story. So. Ugarit, they found the people in Ugarit and Gibala because they dug up their stuff. This is the Egyptian part was written on a wall that's still there, so we can just kind of see. Oh, they had an army. They were able to defend themselves mostly. The coastal cities still got fuckered up though. We'll come to that.
I want somebody of merit to state that inscription on the wall is the world's earliest mugshot. because it's an Egyptian holding. I think he's supposed to be holding them in like leather strands or something, or whatever. It looks like they're bound and everything. But a depiction of the sea peoples and everything. And to me, that is the world's oldest mugshot.
Yeah, the first,
the way I see it.
The first instance they saw of this, at least in like recordings, was them bringing the sea peoples to their god as an offering.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It wasn't the god.
So they were all bound up, and
I forgot about that
it
part.
was Ramsey bringing them.
I thought it was somebody bringing them to Ramsey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ramsey was usually the focal point in most of his hieroglyphs. So
I got it.
Right.
I got it flipped.
But so this is actually they found these hieroglyphs at the temple of Menet Habu. Going with that.
Nailed it.
Thanks. Doing great. So what this temple is there for? The temple itself is actually pretty freaking big, and what it actually shows is pretty much just the military victories of Ramses III. All of them, like all campaigns that he was successful in. It just shows this pretty much stories of how great he is. He was pretty much his own biggest hype man.
Yeah, it's weird. No losses.
No L's. No L's at all.
No L's. Weird. It's almost like someone didn't record that.
Yeah.
Are we making an argument that the North Koreans are tied to ancient Egypt?
Yes.
The Kims specifically?
Oh.
Did the Egyptians have golf?
I could make so many
I think
jokes for today about our current.
Oh, I plan on making a joke about that later.
Okay.
I think that was it, right? Like one of the Kims had never played golf, and then he did, and it was all hole in one.
Yeah, it was
shot
the
18.
father, I think. Was it?
I think
It was
it's
the
the
grandfather. It was the grandfather.
I think it was the grandfather. Yeah.
Kim Il Sung.
Shot 18.
18,
Yeah.
every shot, yep.
I was pretty sure it was golf.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the same dude doesn't actually use the bathroom ever.
Yeah, he doesn't poop.
He doesn't
Oh.
poop. Yeah, because he's like such a perfect being. His body doesn't make any waste. Anyways, fucking North Korea.
We should do an episode on them one day.
On the Kims?
Have we not done North Korea?
No, we have not.
We have not. We should do that.
Oh, I could talk for. I learned so much from Mercenaries.
God, I love that game so much.
That's such a great game.
Such a great game.
Such a great
We
game.
deserve another Mercenaries.
Fuck yes, we do.
With the new technology, too.
Dude, all the shit we've gone through in the past 30 years,
Man.
I want my damn game.
Anywho.
You're right. So, yeah. Anywho. So yeah, this the hieroglyphs show the sea peoples attacking Egypt. Like you had mentioned before, there's a bunch of different names for these groups. That actually shows 9 different groups as the sea people. So these are
Oh, yeah, I got
there's a lot of names. I only have one.
I was like, I got 8. I got the Peliset, and as long as I have the order correct, they became the Philistines. I might have I might have a flip flop.
Those are the ones I plan on talking about. Yes.
Okay, and then you have the Tejeker,
Sure.
the Shekelesh.
That sounds fun.
it sounds like a Hasidic sound effect is what it is. Shekelesh. Denyon, which is one of the ones that we mentioned earlier. The Weshesh.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, which just sounds like a lisp. The Shurden. I think it's supposed to be from Shardana.
Sure.
The Teresh and the Luca.
Yeah, the Shardana, they're the ones that are like that's one of the groups they think are from Sardinia.
Sardinia, yeah.
The Shekelesh they think are Sicilian.
That was the Sicilian one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Yuquesh they think are Greeks. Yeah, so these were best guesses. But yeah, I had the same list.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
right on.
the Luca were Anatolia, are believed to come from Lycia.
Yep.
And
That was the one that everyone was like, "Yep, we know that one."
yeah, the Tajakar and Weshish
Worcestershire.
may be associated with the Trode and Walusa Troy.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it is they're just looking at the names and they're like,
Same,
Sounds
somebody else
familiar.
has a similar name.
yeah, same consonants. Basically, is what I saw.
Okay.
How they were pairing them was through the consonant use.
Sure, that makes sense. So the Paliset were the Philistines in the Bible. So the sea people were famous enough to make it to the Bible. Or as Meatwad says, the Bibble.
The Bibble.
I thought about getting that sound bite. I should have done it. that says the Bibble.
There's still time.
You're not wrong. Anyways, so yeah, one of the things that I found interesting about that, because the Philistines, obviously, like, this is all Old Testament stuff right here, but the Philistines are made famous because of their one hero, good old Goliath. Goliath was a Philistine. He got hit in the head with a rock. Unfortunate for him.
He dead now.
Until he wasn't a Philistine anymore.
No, he was headless. But I thought that was interesting, though, because you have the Philistines referred to again in the Bible. We actually can track where they went to. The Philistines eventually settled in Palestine. And the Philistines also had a really big problem with one big group, the Israelites. And I wonder where they settled. Anywho.
Well, Egypt for a short time.
Oh, that's true. Yep, so a dude with a stick was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Until a dude with a stick was like, hey, watch this.
Yeah, you watch this. See that?
Holy shit. I mean, oy vey.
Oh, man. It's like not like Israel and Palestine ever has a beef.
See, that's what it sounds like. Shekelish.
There you go.
But
And also, that was my one joke about it. I'm not going to touch that subject. I'm not broaching that at all. Nope, I'm not getting monetized. We don't even have monetization in the first place. Anywho,
you can't take what we don't got. I got opinions.
that's very true. It's very true.
I don't know why I go like imitation Southern when I decide to yell about shit.
Something in your roots. I don't fucking know, man.
I'm not from the South.
I don't know what to tell you there.
Maybe I'm trying to mock two people at the same time.
Dude, you have like 4 different families, man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Teamwork.
Everybody was involved in that.
Well, I think, yeah, I can feel the breeze coming through the window. So, yeah, it's a nice summer breeze coming through today. Even though it's like 60 degrees out. Whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. Feels good in the sun, though.
Yeah, it does feel good in the sun. We're going to be out there in a minute. All right. So, where was I going here? Yep.
Philistines.
Oh, yeah,
settling.
The Philistines. Oh, yeah. Again, like the whole Israel never had a problem with Palestine. Anyways, so yeah, that beef goes back this far, essentially, is what I was alluding to. So, yeah, essentially because of the various groups that we mentioned, like there's 8 or 9 different groups of people that the Egyptians mentioned, and was really interesting about it. If you look at the hieroglyphs of them, they all do look different. So Ben, you made a joke about the mugshots. These people, like when they chisel them out, they do all look different, which is actually pretty cool.
No, it is, and different garb, different head coverings. One of them is supposedly they think it's depicted as having feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Headgear.
Yeah, which is interesting for all sorts of reasons.
Right.
So I want to come back to that here in a second. So the reason the Egyptians wrote about these guys the most and why we do have a record of these people existing is because eventually they went and tried to fuck with Egypt.
Yeah.
And the Egyptians, seeing all the fuckery that happened up north, were ready.
Yeah, like we said before, they were only people that actually did have a standing army this entire time.
Yeah. So basically, is the sea people, the Egyptians blocked any land access, and so the sea people had to come from the sea. And the Egyptians wanted that. So they built several different fortifications kind of around the delta area of the Nile. And essentially what happened is they were like, if we were attacking, these are the routes that we would come through to attack those fortifications. And the Egyptians were able to hide their navy, quote unquote, basically from the people advancing. So they let these people advance down the delta of the Nile, kind of come in, and then the jaw snapped in. And
They 300 them.
they fucking 300 them.
Freaking got Musashi'd.
Yeah.
The old Leonidas Musashi move.
Yeah, the
Tale as old as time.
came out of fucking nowhere,
Yeah.
and they fucked them up. Again, these people,
Bonjour!
the sea peoples were peoples. They weren't really a standing military. They were
Right.
just a group of people
There's a
that,
confederation of all sorts.
yeah, there probably was no tactics other than we're going to come in and, like, fucking attack you.
Pretty much.
If that's what was going on, maybe they were just like, hey, we want food, and then the Egyptians slaughtered them. I don't know. So anyways, the Egyptians used grappling hooks and flaming arrows and all the other fun sort of navy stuff and decimated these people. They took a shit ton of prisoners. Now, the thing that I thought was interesting is when I read that, and I'm like, how the fuck do we even know about these people? Because back then, sure, yeah, they probably just took them and sacrificed them all to some sun god or
That will be raw.
Anubis or whoever. Anubis, there we go.
Anubis.
There we go.
I say Ra, Anubis, and Isis. I think
But-
are the only ones I know of.
Ramsey the Third actually looked at these people and was like, these people fucked up a lot of cities, and some of them have some pretty decent skills, and skills that we might need,
Yeah.
like warriors, and they know how to travel by boats, namely the sea. And
Also, they know what a boat is.
Yep.
and so
I'm not letting this go.
and so he looked at these groups of people and was like, honestly, probably better if we merge them into the groups. And they did that. They basically brought them in. Yeah, some of them got pushed into slavery, and yeah, some of them got sacrificed. But a good portion of them were merged into the Egyptian culture to the point where even some of these people made it to Ramses' inner circle of people, and so they became people of power. They became landholders. They became travelers and warriors, and they were incorporated. And so I think that's why we know about the sea people. That's why they were depicted as different. Is because these people were incorporated into the Egyptian culture,
Sure.
and you were able to get that level of information. These people knew about their culture, and so they wrote about them because that was them. And
Yeah.
so I think that's largely why, because most of the time, if the only time we find out about a civilization that gets massacred or a group that gets utterly decimated is if we go and find something from them, from there. And these people didn't have a place. They were
Right.
a large group of different people that apparently didn't write shit down for 100 years. And then the Egyptians slaughtered them, and it was up to the Egyptians to actually record who these people were. And that's why we know about them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what I kind of liked about this topic is okay, we saw essentially I think that the sea peoples were an effect of the collapse. Or really these people just were hungry. There was a famine, there were earthquakes everywhere, and they were hungry. They when people are hungry, they crazy stuff. And these people got hungry and got on a boat and started just fucking everybody else up.
Yeah.
They made it their I'm hungry and it's your problem now.
You get in the car and you go to the nearest drive-through.
And you make it their problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
Egypt, Anatolia, these are drive-thrus now.
the long-standing opinion about these people was that they were this war group that was pillaging and burning down cities. But when you looked at what the Egyptians wrote down about them, the Egyptians were saying they were coming with cattle, with their families, with pretty much everything they had left. These people weren't an army; they were closer to a migration.
Sure.
So that's why I kind of run into the thing of I don't think they were ever trying to burn down cities. I think these cities were repelling them, and then these people had nowhere else to go.
Could be. Very well could be. Oh, by the way, about the Egyptian gods, I just have to look at it. I thought it was like 500 something. I was very wrong. The Egyptians worship over 2,000 gods, actually. I was a little off my figure there.
How do you have time for anything else?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Did I say Ra was the sun god? Was I? Did I say
Yeah.
that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was making sure. I was like, man, I feel like I did say that. Okay, cool.
I swear, I swear, I only know that because of Stargate.
Was it 2000?
It was Stargate and Assassin's Creed Origins for me.
Was it
Oh, okay.
2,000 gods all at once, or is it like over the year?
I think it's over the period.
Over the span of
I was gonna say,
Egypt.
like, you could learn about one god a day, and that would still take you fucking
Several years, yes.
6 years.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
It's a lot of gods.
There's a lot of gods, man. Yep, couldn't be me. Anywho, that honestly pretty much sums up what I had to say about the Sea Peoples. I mean, again, like the collapse was kind of the collapse of the Bronze Age, which led to the Dark Age, obviously. But I feel like the Bronze Age is something that we learned so much about in school. I mean, like just again, like I mentioned before, like the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Bible, the Old Testament was the Bronze Age. So like you have all these various sources in history and even in media, like again 300, it's the place during the Bronze Age. All these things happen, and then it just went away. For 300 years, nobody remembered how to write.
Yeah, essentially, you saw these major cities due to drought, due to infighting, poor political structures. Basically, the cities collapsed, and they were relying on each other so much for resources that once one collapsed, it had a major effect on the other. It wasn't like it would be like if us in the U.S. lost Canada or Mexico. Like that would have a major impact on those groups. Yeah. And so after this point, you had these major cities collapse and everybody kind of scattered to the wind. You had a few pockets of some cities and civilizations that would pop up, but they were so focused on trying to grab resources and reestablish themselves that's when you started getting a lot of the fighting and conflict between the nations. So it wasn't really until the Romans came around that you had another superpower in the area.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Almost as long. Also, we didn't talk about the guy that translated all this. Gaston Maspero.
Yeah.
Or Maspero, however you're supposed to pronounce that. He's French, so he matters a little. But and he was a French Egyptologist, and he was the one that translated that inscription. And also came up with the theory of it being a confederacy of people and
I see
this, that, and the other. I put it somewhere in my notes and I can't find it, so I retyped it up. But yeah, it just done. I mean, we didn't even discuss like where the theory came from.
I glazed over that part. You're right. Yeah.
Also, random note, in some of my readings, I saw like when the Egyptians were like trying to tally up like how many people they'd killed or whatever in a battle, they would do it by cutting off people's hands.
Okay.
And then they would count the hands. And I cannot think of a more ineffective way. So at the end of the day, you just have this mound
of hands.
Of decaying hands.
Yeah, what do you even do with it? Do you just throw it in the Nile, I guess?
I mean, not if you want to live, but
burn it.
Like
there's crocodiles in there.
Well, I'm more wondering about. So okay, you shout out to the troops. Okay, only right hands. And there's those two jagoffs in the back not paying attention and cutting off both hands.
So no, you brought an interesting point to this. I figured they were cutting off both hands and just taking both back, and they're like,
that's incredibly inefficient.
Okay, I like the idea of just grabbing one hand.
That's what I first thought it would just be one hand.
Yeah, it would just be one hand, but then you got Beavis and Butthead in the back,
and then you come up to a group. Then you come up to a body and you go to cut off his right hand. Notice his left hand's gone. All right, who the fuck's cutting off left hands?
Well, that guy was just a thief.
Yeah,
Thank you.
But when you put
that was such a delay. Oh, God, I'm glad we caught that on video. John, okay. Can we just end this? I want to,
I have a burger waiting for me downstairs.
you have a burger. I have my girlfriend and outdoors. I just, okay. Are we done here?
And I have myself.
Okay. If you made it this far in the video, we appreciate you giving us a listen. As we mentioned before, we thank you for sticking with us all these years. Give us a follow on social media. We do have a website out. Go check that out. It has not only where you can listen to us at, but it has our videos on there too. So you can just get a direct link to the video, to the audio, if you feel like it. Kind of easy place to do it. And you can leave us feedback there too. requiredtastepodcast.com. I made it this week, so go check that out. Check out the fruits of my labors. Anyways, we appreciate you guys sticking with us, and y'all be cool.